I'm Jennifer Elwell with Kentucky Agriculture and Environment in the Classroom, and this is our farmland preservation game. This is a great way to introduce students to the concepts of what happens when we don't have enough resources to produce food, and also to talk about the local food system and how that works. And if we decided to only depend on local farmers, what that might look like in a year where they're not producing a whole lot of food. So we start out with a city card, and there are families that live in the city. So each of these little discs represents population. We also are going to have 3 farms, so we're just going to pretend for these purposes that we have 3 groups of kids or 3 kids playing this game. You can put them into different groups, and each group can be their own farm. So each farm also has a farm family that needs to be fed, but they are producing the food for the city. So each farm, whether it's one child or a group of children, they're going to roll the dice to determine how much food they are able to produce. So this one farm rolled a 6, so we're going to place 6 food discs by their farm. The second farm is going to roll, and they only rolled a 1. So they just get 1 food disc, and then this third farm produced 4. Now's where we determine if the local farms produced enough food for the city. So we're going to cover each of these up with the food that is produced. And look, we have excess. So the families are fed, everybody's in the city is fed, and then we've got some extra. So that's really great. However, this one farm that only rolled a 1, they're not doing so well. That food that they produce is not going to support their family farm. So in this case, this farm is going to sell to a developer, and we're going to put a suburb there. So any team or child that rolls only a 1 or 2, they are encouraged to sell the farm. It is the next season or generation. So we're going to collect our food discs. And what typically happens when a suburb moves in is more people tend to move there. So already we have less farmland and more people. Only the farms get to roll this time. So this farm did well again. We have 6. This is a suburb, no longer can make food. And this farm rolled a 4 again. Now, we have to make sure we have enough food. So, we're feeding our farm families. We're working on feeding our city. And we only have 2 discs left for our suburb. So, all of a sudden, we have there's not enough food to feed them because we have less farmland and more people. Now, this game is meant to be fluid, so if all of your teams are raising high numbers, the teacher can decide to go on and up population, because that does happen. Population increases to see how the results go. If all the kids roll really low numbers, so they're selling their farms, obviously the game would be over a lot quicker, but it is easy to see that the students can understand if we have less farms, how we're not going to be able to produce enough food for all of the people in our community. So it's, like I said, it's a good lesson to help them understand why we need to protect farmland. So when farmers have one bad year, in reality, there are different government programs that will help them stay in business, and I'm really glad that those programs are in place, because we'd be in trouble if we had a drought or some other circumstance that happened where our farmers couldn't produce food.